Mm, 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 mm. What's up? What's up? It's the one and only JP to the. I love when Kanye do. It's Kanye to the. Me make sure I'm live and everything coming across is looking good. It's looking good. I don't know if y'all seen my content earlier, but this is my favorite part of my business. I love coming on here and doing this. Like this is like when I do these and Facebook pay me, I say, man, they could have kept that check. I love doing this. The only thing is, I want all the money. I want all the money. So I'm glad they paying me. Okay, YouTube alerts, everything working. The only thing about this equipment is that Facebook it limit my reach. So I it's a plus and a minus. So basically, when I use the equipment, I can stream to multiple channels. So I can do 2 or 3 different Facebook pages, a YouTube page, Instagram if I wanted to. I can stream to all types of channels if I use the software. But Facebook limits the reach. It's just the way that the algorithms work. They like things that are native to Facebook, so they want you to go live on Facebook and they will make sure you reach a broader audience than if you use softwares like this. So it's a give and take. It's a part of doing business with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and all of them. They have their own set of rules and they have their algorithm set to a certain thing. So I have a few people on. I don't like holding things up. This will be up for the people who come in late and they can rewatch it if they want to do that. And I usually clip this down into smaller clips and different segments if I like a part of the conversation. If you are watching and you want to be in the conversation, you can easily let me know and I can send you this link via Facebook or um YouTube is a little harder, but definitely via Facebook. I could just send you this link, and all you will have to do is click the link and you can join in the conversation. I love that because it gives other opinions. And sometimes a simple comment may not be able to vocalize what you really feel enough. So I am definitely talking about the Puffy and Cassie situation where Puffy had already made a statement and said, "I am not guilty of these allegations," even though he had already settled for 30 million. He made a statement and said, "I am not guilty." And some celebrities rode with him, and other celebrities chose to get on out the way. But as a celebrity, your business is Front Street all the time. When you're doing good, your business is Front Street. If Puffy buys a new house, they're going to say, "Hey, Puff Daddy just bought a new home. It's worth $50 million, X, Y, and Z." Sometimes it makes you look good. Man, Puffy got $50 million to buy this home. And it seems like things are unlimited for people like him. And it makes us strive for better. If he could get a $50 million home, then there's a $50 million home for you somewhere. Well, some of us, it makes some other people haters. I don't know. But I look at people that's at a certain stature and say, if they can do it, I can do it. I don't look at it and say, well, his cousin was X, Y, and Z, or well, he started young, or you see people like a Jermaine Dupri, whose father was a music executive, and you say, well, he only got on because his father, Jermaine Dupri, was one of the hardest working young people that we've ever seen. He was like 19 when Chris Cross and people like that was coming out. So that is somebody who understood that they had a mission in life and they buckled down and handled their business. But we see things like this video that came out and it contradicts what the celebrity said happened, and it validates what the person of a lesser stature said happened. So with that validation, um, I haven't seen anywhere that Cassie commented. I haven't seen anything that said "I told you so" or anything along those lines. But it definitely gives credits to people who who come forward in situations like this because a lot of people are afraid to come forward against somebody like a Puffy because they have so much pull. So when you think about it, celebrity is definitely a drug. So for somebody to have that much power and influence and to find someone that young and to they call it grooming and all of that thing, but to for them to basically dance on their trust. For a person to be 17, 18, or 19 years old, they are very um open to a older person, especially a female at that age. And a lot of these females have daddy issues and some of them don't. Even for you to be a male, and it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship, for you to be that young, those are still your formidable years. So for you to be 17, 18, and 19 and you meet a father figure and they take advantage of you. So we've seen it in the situation like Lil Wayne and Baby. So in a situation with Lil Wayne and Baby, you have someone who found a young man at the age of, let's say, 10, 11, 12 years old, and he gave this young man more than this young man could ever imagine having because this young man is from the slums. And Baby allowed Lil Wayne to take his talents and to make more than a living. I don't care what he ganked him for, whatever the situation he had to sue. He definitely made more than a living. Lil Wayne has made more money than probably 95% of the people in the world will ever see in their lifetime. And Baby allow for that to happen. So for you to come from a situation where you don't see certain things and certain type of lifestyles, and then someone comes along who's 2, 3 times your age, and they show you something like that, and then years later you realize they took advantage of you, or during the time they took advantage of you. So when you look at a situation with Lil Wayne and Baby, right? You look at that situation where everybody left the situation. Everybody who started there left the situation and they were saying, Wayne, let's go. And you say no. And you have this certain bond with this person that your common sense isn't even kicking in. And you help this person grow to an even larger stature than they are. And they still get down on you. Right. So I know that it sounds like I'm jumping to two different things, but it's the same concept. With Baby and Little Wayne, the situation was this is a father figure. With Cassie and Puffy, the situation is still this is a father figure. Whether it was a sexual relationship or not, this is still the person that I'm leaning on for financials. I'm leaning on this person for knowledge. I'm leaning on this person for understanding. And I'm hoping that this person helps me grow into the person that I know that I could be. So when someone takes advantage of people and we watch them take advantage of people over and over and over again, Puffy and Baby, we've watched them allegedly take advantage of people. And we see this and we think it can't be me. It won't be me. And you look at something where a person has shown their stripes or their spots, and we know that you can't change your stripes and your spots. So when all hell start breaking loose, you see people start doing things out of the kindness of their heart. Like Puffy start giving away the publishing. He start giving the publishing back to his artists and he start doing different things. And a lot of it may have seemed like, hey, he's doing something great for these people. And he may have. I don't know what his heart was at the time, and I don't want to judge it, but it may have been he's seen things like this coming. So we watch celebrities from a distance and we have our own opinions and we make these opinions based on what is the information that is given to us. We don't know these people personally. So these celebrities are only known to us through whatever the camera gives us or whatever social media gives us. So when we see these people constantly being thrown in front of us, and we get used to them being thrown in front of us in a certain light, but that light starts to dim. Do we say, let's erase everything that they did before now? So that situation is the same situation that we dealt with R. Kelly. R. Kelly is arguably the biggest R&B star we've ever seen, whether it's singing, songwriting, whatever, performing, whatever. He's arguably the biggest R&B star we've ever seen. I love other R&B stars like Tank, R. Kelly, and people like that. And if you talk to them, they will tell you that R. Kelly is still the king of R&B. I've watched a Tank interview where he said he is still the king of R&B. You cannot take away from what he did for music because of what he did in his personal life. Because white people not doing that. Let's just keep it 1,000. White people are not doing that. Elvis was one of the most racist celebrities that we've ever seen. If you do any type of research on Elvis, he was a very racist person. And in that time, he was the norm. It was so much racial tension and different things going on. That was the norm. I don't have a problem with Elvis being racist. That's his business. Well, was his business. And he didn't know any better. In that time, that was the norm. Right. So we're supposed to erase everything that our celebrities did for our culture because they messed up in their personal life. So we look at somebody like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was considered America's father for many years, and he was Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was comfortable around kids. Bill Cosby had all kinds of things going on, and we are I was raised off of Bill Cosby, from Fat Albert to the Cosby Show to whatever else. I was raised off of Bill Cosby. If Bill Cosby drugged women, I don't know anything about that. I'm saying I was raised off of Bill Cosby. I was like crazy about the Cosby Show. I had a crush. I still got a crush on Felicia Rashad. Anybody know me personally know I always talk about Felicia Rashad, and I I loved the Cosby Show. So is Bill Cosby drugging women supposed to take my love for the Cosby Show away, when there are white celebrities that they come out, they do things, and they sweep it under the rug, and they don't take their shows off of TV when they get caught doing something scandalous, right? The media portray all of this negativity when it's us. So imagine what happened with Kobe. So in the end, the only thing Kobe did illegal was lie, lie about having sex with this lady. And yeah, and Bill Cosby was exonerated. I don't believe that all those women had those issues with Bill Cosby. And what I do believe is, at that time, Bill Cosby's partying was what the drugs they say they were drugged with. They were partying. That's what I feel. And when people seen a way to be a victim, they turned into victims, right? Because a lot of these people are celebrities that do all types of drugs. So now you're doing drugs, and he say, "Hey, let's party. You want to party with me?" And you get these pills, and you're feeling a little groggy, but you were back over there the next day. And it's the same thing when you look at Mike Tyson and Tupac. So what we have to realize is, it's a terrible attack on our culture, right? Exactly, Daryl. It's a terrible attack on our culture, and we don't even understand it, right? So when we look at Tupac, Tupac was hated, and Tupac did nothing to that lady, right? Even now, is facts. He did nothing to that lady. They found Tupac guilty of rape. Like, this one of the worst things you could do to a person is label them a rapist. They found Tupac guilty of rape, and he wasn't even in the room. The people that actually physically raped the woman, did not go to jail. This is what people have to understand. Propaganda is so real, and the way that the media portray us, they steal our whole culture. It's been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. They've literally took anything that we did and made us. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. They've literally took anything that we've did over the last 400 and plus years and made it negative, right? You seen it when they talked about when FEMA was going down to New Orleans and people were fighting for their life down there. Like oh my God, they're looting, they're doing this. When the white coverage show it, it's a video on social media where they show the different when they it's a video on there where they show the difference in the coverage. So when the black people were trying to survive, they were looting and they were animals and it was all of that. When the white people were doing the same exact thing trying to survive, they turned it into, oh my God, it's so bad down there. They have to steal to live. They have to loot to survive. Look how bad it is. Listen, y'all, stop believing the hype, right? And I'm not taking off for Puffy. What he did was dead wrong, and he terrible for doing that shit to that girl. But we have to understand that what he did personally does not take away from what he did for our culture and how he forwarded our culture and showed us how to be bosses and showed us that we could be more than just artists, right? Puffy was one of the first black CEOs that showed us you don't have to be an artist. You can own this shit. You can own this shit. So bigger than what he did with just music, we have to look at what Puffy did for our culture and how he made people like Master P or people like Jay-Z or people like Ice Cube or whoever realize you don't have to be an artist. You can be the man. You can be the boss. You can be a mogul, right? So we are stuck in this position where we feel like we're wrong for saying something like this because that's how they want us to feel. They want us to feel like, hey, don't take up for your guy. You're gonna look like a outcast for taking up for your guy, right? So since I'm on this subject, I need everybody to understand the logic behind this, right? Nobody can kill your people like you can. The white media can't kill Puffy like we can, right? You got kids running around saying no Diddy. I seen Mace doing an interview and said no Diddy. And he may be an animal, right? But when you start taking away from what he did for the culture, you put our culture in a very bad situation. And I'm not saying we're supposed to take up for him. But what I'm saying is we have to separate the two, right? So they use us against us. And that's the only way they can win is to use us against us. When you think about the different things that the Willie Lynch syndrome and all of that, the most heinous thing they can do to us is use us against us. So you have people running around saying it's nothing wrong with snitching. It's nothing wrong with snitching. And I want to clarify what snitching is before I get into this subject. Snitching is a criminal getting caught and telling on other criminals, not the lady up the street calling the police because y'all hanging out and selling drugs in front of her house. That is not a snitch. When I talk about a snitch, I'm talking about a criminal getting caught up and telling on other criminals. I seen the guy G-Face. G-Face was selling trucking things, and I learned from dealing with Kiera, the trucking guru, and I started seeing these different ads for G-Face, and he was talking about selling his coaching program for trucking, and he was selling it for like $5,000, and he sold like 7,000 of these. He clinked up. He clinked up, y'all. But he was rapping and he was saying, hey, I did all this time in prison and X, Y, and Z. And this week it came out that it came out that he was a government informant for like 19 years, maybe. He's been a government informant. So even the other trouble that he got into, it was because he was an informant. He went to jail for stabbing somebody because they were trying to kill him for being an informant. He's a government informant, right? So this man is a whole government informant and he's infiltrated our culture. Now, to be honest, who he told on was the Mexican cartel. He told on the Mexican cartel, and now he running around rapping and doing all this. He created a whole different persona. He caught a new Fed case this week, and his lawyer said he is not a threat. He has been an informant since 2005 or something crazy like that. So all of this information is coming out, even though it was whispers about it before, but it's all coming out. That is a snitch. A snitch is somebody that pretends to be something that they not, and he not a undercover cop. If you a cop, then you doing your job, right? So this man has came out to be a whole government informant for almost 2 decades. So this is somebody who's been in the hood. He's been rapping. He's been in videos and all kind of stuff with gang members, and he's claiming a gang. He's been on No Jumper. He's did all of this stuff, and he's running around promoting this street life and how he changed to selling trucking programs and all this stuff. And this man is the whole police, y'all. So that is a snitch. That is a problem, right? He worse than 69 because 6ix9ine ended up informing. Like he got caught and he ended up informing, right? And this particular guy, he didn't end up informing. He in this guy's name G Face. Y'all can Google the guy. They got a whole thing on YouTube about this guy. This guy has been in like faking like he in the streets and doing all this stuff. He was on No Jumper saying he did 19 years, and come to find out the man did like 4 years before, but he's been in witness protection. Him and his family has been in witness protection because he's been a government informant. And he came out and was back informing on people. So he got caught up this week for like money laundering or something, and his lawyer ended up uh when he put in a motion, it exposed everything else about him being a government informant. And the paperwork is definitely is out to the open, y'all. The guy name, I don't remember his government name, but if you look up G Face informant on YouTube, you will see the stories. Like this guy was like doing ads and selling this program, and his whole sale was, I did 19 years in prison. I came home and I'm selling these trucking programs, and people signing up for him, and they were $5,000, and he cleaned up. And people probably got a lot of help from it, but he was in the streets and rapping and doing all this stuff, and he's a whole informant. But that's just to make that case, right? So there is a problem with snitches. I have a problem with snitches. I don't do anything in the streets anymore. I got degrees back there. Y'all see them. I'm legit. I'm happy as hell that I can rest my head and don't have to worry about the police or fuck niggas doing something crazy to me, right? But I have a problem with snitches, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. A snitch is like the worst type of person to me, because if you could do something and you duck responsibility by pointing somebody else out. And one thing about snitching is it doesn't happen just once. Because if you point somebody else out, they are going to ask you for more information. You're going to be pointing people out probably for the rest of your life, right? So that's my problem with snitching. When you could have just went down and took your time like a man, you probably take down 20, 40, 50, 100 people, because it grows exponentially. Because if you tell on 5 people, right? Two of those 5 people might tell on 5 more people, and two of each of those 5, you look up, the whole fucking world is telling, right? And that's what's going on, because the people who are not telling are going to jail. So I'm bringing this back to slaves, right? And we don't want to think this deep. We don't want to think this deep because it shows us that there's a different problem going on, right? So who do you think was catching the slaves for these slave owners? It's no different. So I see somebody who looks like me and they speak like me. They're in the same struggle I'm in. And I'm thinking we are on one accord. Same thing with the streets. You are in my tribe. I'm thinking I'm comfortable with you. And as soon as I slip, you tying me up or you bopping me upside the head so somebody could take me into slavery because it benefits you. It's the same thing with snitching. So I don't care if I'm never ever dealing with any type of street thing. I feel like a snitch is the lowest person in the world. Go take your time like a man or a woman. Go take your time like a man. When I see stories of these so-called street legends and they ratted, I don't, it's nothing they can say to me. I don't look at them and I give them no type of credence. I don't want to watch their story. I don't want to hear nothing about all the great gangster stuff they did in the street. You're a rat and you've been a rat. You just had the, you needed the opportunity to rat. So it's the same concept, right? So now we go from snitches being just like the people who traded on their African friends and turned them in. And we have this same attitude when it comes to celebrities, right? They make us love celebrities. Oh my God, they're giving back, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then they make us hate celebrities. They make us hate them for what they do in their personal life. But when you think about some of these white people and how they damn near get away with murder, it's white celebrities that do some of the things that black celebrities do, and they get away with murder. When you think about those celebrities that was doing all that scamming and getting their kids in college, how many of those celebrities actually did time in prison? Go look up how many of those basketball players they sent into prison for that health insurance fraud that they were doing. Go look it up. They're sending those guys to prison for health insurance fraud when those people got their kids in college. Those kids got educations that they didn't deserve, and those kids haven't went to prison, and those parents haven't went to prison. But we are forced to look at our people with a side eye because that's how they want us to look at our people. I don't know what else Puffy did. I don't know what else R. Kelly did. I don't care what Michael Jordan did. I don't care what Mike Tyson did. I don't care what none of these people did in their personal life. I am not going to allow these white people to keep raping our culture and taking away our superheroes to bring us all this negative energy so we can sit on social media and dog the people that gave us a childhood, the people that gave us hope and being something greater than just hairstylists in the hood or just the weed man in the hood. We seen people be great and that gave us the motivation that we could be great, and they want to take that away from us. Don't let them take that away from us, right? I don't feel like these celebrities are being held to unrealistic standards. They are celebrities, and to whom much is given, much is asked. That's why I put that in the description. So they should understand that they're being held to unrealistic standards. They should understand that. And they should behave in a manner that portrays that. They should be giving us the best of them because they've been giving so much. They've been given so much by the universe that they should feel like they owe us enough to be better people. But we should not give up on our people because white media wants us to give up on our people, or they want us to tear down our people or take away what our people did for us. I'm not going to allow them to do that on my end, and you shouldn't allow them to do that on your end because they don't do that to their people. Martha Stewart did something terrible. Martha Stewart did something terrible. She did her time. They didn't make it like she was the worst person in the world. And she came home and got back to her money. They gave her shows, magazines, and whatever else she wanted because that's how they do they people. Y'all better wake up and stop believing the hype. And that's real life.